Hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel Akash Thing. This is Akash here and today we are going to continue our learning on the Dockers. In the first lecture we have completed the basic understanding of Docker. Then in the second we try to install Docker desktop and get introduced to Docker Hub. In the third session we try to practice some of the Docker commands. Now in this video we are going to create a Python application which can take a user input and then process it and then give a output. So we are going to build a, you can say the to-do list for uh, for this session, and then we will also try to have a Docker file, and then we will try to host this to-do list inside container, and we try to interact uh, in the to-do list that is hosted on the container, not on my local. So we'll go through these things today. I hope it is going to be a interesting video, and you will enjoy it and you will learn also. So this is something very practical we are going to do. So for this, we will need to create a Python application. So I have used AI to create this. We'll go through that code in detail. And then we will also need a Docker file, and then we will start uh, visualizing the Docker image and containers in the desktop, Docker desktop. So we also need that. Now with that, let's start and let's open the VS Code where I have the code. So here I have created the code, and let's go through the Python application of to-do list. So you can see we have couple of functions like show menu, then add task, then view task, markdown, and then delete task. And then there is a main function. So we are starting from this main function. This is the syntax we use to call this Python app.py main function. So yeah, it starts from main function. So it will go and print first this statement and then the two statements. So we are not using any library of Python for now. We are just depending on the Python, just the basic things that provides. So first it will try to operate in a while loop, and it will keep iterating unless like someone enters the number 5 and then it says goodbye. Okay. So at first it will show the menu. So let's go to menu and see what is happening there. So in menu, it will show the list of to do application things that we can do. So basically we can add a new task. We can view all the existing tasks, and then we can mark if the task is completed or not. And then we can also delete a task. Let's say if the task is completed, or if we want to remove all the tasks and start a whole new. So it like depends on everyday basis you can use a to-do list. And then the fifth option is like we can exit out of this to-do list. Then let's go back to the show menu. Now the next command is like input. So it will take ask for user to enter the number between 1 to 5, and then based on that choice it will go through if else statement. So this is if else kind of multiple if else loop. So first it will try to match if it's one. If it's one, then it's going to add task. So in add task, what it will take user input, like what task you want to enter, and then it will try to append that task in our to-dos. That is the list, that is a global list that we had defined at the top, which can be used across all the functions. Then as the next item, it will again going to uh, like it will exit this loop, and then it will again show menu. So it will again show those 5 options, and then again if I select option 2, then it will go and show me the tasks that are there. So basically it will check if there is any task or not. If there is no task, it will say no task, add something. And if it is having task, it is going to look over those tasks. So enumerate is nothing but it will give me two output. First is the index of the list, and second is the what is the value in that at that index. So this way it will try to check the status. If the status of the task is done or not done, which we are defining here. Initially, it is kept as false automatically unless someone tries to make it true, right? So that way it will check the status, and it will also find the task, and it will display this thing. So we'll see how it's working. Right now, let's just understand the code. Now, coming back to the main function. So again, it will exit at this place, and then it again shows you the menu. And then the third option, if we select, mark done. So if we want to close a task, or if we want to say that the task is completed, so then mark done will come. It will show you all the tasks, and then it will again check if there is any task. And then based on the number that the user is going to enter here. So So the intent of showing the task here is like user can see like which task is at which number, right? And using that number only, the user will enter the number. So here we are again taking user input. You can see the input command, and then we are converting that input into integer, because our if condition is handling the integer only. So it's checking the total to do list item counts, and the number should be below that or equal to that, not more than that. And based on that, it is trying to mark the status like done is equal to true, which was earlier false initially we defined. And then it's going to display the same thing as a message. If the number is greater than or less than one, then in that case, it will say, please enter a valid number, something like that. Now coming back, so again, it will exit, and again, it will show me the menu like 1 to 5. And then if I select, if I want to, let's say, delete a task, it will take me to the delete task. And here again, it will show me the task list, so that the user will be aware which task is at which index or number. And then based on number, he will enter that task number which he want to delete. Now, here again, we will go through the same loop. It will first check if that index is within the range or not, and then it will try to use Python pop function. And here we have subtracted 1 because uh, the index starts from 0, right? So that's where, uh, since the number, the list that it will show, it will start from 1, but in Python, the index starts from 0. So to manage that, we are like subtracting 1 from the number to bring the correct index, and then we are removing that particular value based on the index. So once that task is deleted, it will show like which task got deleted. And if the range is not within that uh, to-do list index, then it will going to ask for the correct user input. So this way, we have like 4 main tasks. And in all these tasks, you can see user is giving some input, then the function is performing some operations, and then it's returning some output, right? So let's try to first run this application on our local and see how is it working. So to run this, we can use the Python command, Python. Let's check the directory. So I think it's to-do list and then app.py. Let's hit enter, and we will be able to run this. So here you can see, as I mentioned, it will show the list of tasks that I can do. So since right now, let's check the list, view all the tasks. So you can see no task 8, add something. So let's add some task by entering 1. Now enter the task. So maybe the first task is like complete my homework. Let's add one more task, complete the yoga practice. Now let's view the task. So to view the task, we can again enter 2, and you can see there are 2 tasks which are pending. Now, if I want to mark one of them as done, so for that we need to enter 3, and it's asking which task you want to mark as done. So let's enter the first, homework is done. So now you can see the task complete my homework is marked as done. Now if I enter 2 and view all the tasks again, it will show me complete my homework done. Now, if I want to delete this task, since it's already completed, I have to go in the fourth option, and then it is asking which one you want to delete. So I will enter one. And now if I view the task again using the option 2, you can see there is just one task. Now you have seen like all the operations are working fine, but this is running on my local. Let's exit for now and let's try to do the same thing using Docker. So for that, we need to create a Docker file. And I think I have already explained how to create a Docker file. So here I have already created it. I will just go over it. So first we need to create a Python setup. So for that, I am importing the Python 3.11 Slim image from Docker Hub. And then I am creating a working directory as app. And then I'm just going to copy my app file. So let me copy app.py. And yeah, I don't need to expose it. And then this one, I need to change to app.py. So everything is same. And now let's try to build the Docker image. So hope I'm clear so far. If you have any doubt, please feel free to mention in the comment. I will try to answer that. But with that, let's use the Docker commands to create the Docker image at first. So for that, we can use Docker. Let's check if Docker image is already there or not. You can see there is no Docker image. Now let's create the Docker image. What is the command to create the Docker image? Do you remember? It's a Docker build image, something like that, right? So we can check this on Google as well as I have documented it here. So you can just write Docker build dash t to do app and then dot. Let's just copy this, paste it here, and you can change the app name. Let's say you can change it to Python app to do Python. And once I build this, you can see there is no image right now in my Docker desktop. So once I build this, you can see the image will be available. But before building that, I think I need to go to the directory where my Docker file is. Otherwise, it won't be able to recognize. So I have went here. I Now I can check the directory. You can see the Docker file is here. I'm in the current directory. Now let's try to run that command. So I have explained it earlier also. So just to giving you brief overview. So Docker build is something we used to run to build a Docker file, and we are using dot here so that it can understand where my Docker file is. Right. That let's try to hit enter. Now the Docker file has created the image from Docker file. You can see the image is here. So this is the command that we are trying to run. Now we can also check that from here, Docker images. You can see the image is there, size is also mentioned, disk usage is also mentioned. So yeah. Now what we will do, let's go back to this UI. So we need to run this as a container. Now in my earlier video, I have mentioned how to run the container. So Docker run dash D and the image name. But here we are using dash IT. So why we are using dash IT? So if I try to use dash I, what will happen? And if I just use dash T, what will happen? And if I don't use anything, I will just run this, what will happen? So when I don't use anything, I will just run the image. It will fail and it will give an error. Why? Because it is asking for some input, user input. Let's try to do that. Docker run to do app. You can see it gave error because it's looking for some input. But since we ran it as Docker run, so it ran and it just closed. There is no interaction happened. That's where this dash I command comes into picture. So if I hit add dash I, even before that, you can see that container is already here, but still it's giving error because we are not able to interact with it. Now, if I use dash I and I try to run, you can see it's able to return the kind of output. Now it's looking for my input. Let's try to hit 2 and see the view all task, what happens. You can see it's not able to recognize my input. What I have given, it's not able to recognize. So what this dash I is trying to do, it gives a input channel through which I can communicate with my Docker. So without that, I am not able to do that. So what is happening is like, let's say, Docker, if we run Docker run and to do list, then it will create just a room, but there is no gate or nothing so that you can enter or interact with something. So when it's asking like create a task and no one is able to do or make anything inside that room, unable to enter that. So that's where it's crashing. But when I try to add dash I, it is trying to add that input channel and we are able to insert something. But there is no way to kind of generate the output in a structured way. So that's where this T comes. So if we just enter T, then input is missing. So we are not able to give anything. So if I am typing 1, 2, 3, it's not taking anything. So it has closed the input channel. So I'm not able to enter anything into this Docker environment or Docker container that it has created. So that's where this I and this T is not working. So just now, if I just have both I and T together, you will see it's working now. If I hit 1, if I hit 2, you can see it's showing no task. It's behaving as usual, which how it was behaving in my local. So think of it like a kind of a laptop which is having your mic as well as your speaker. So without mic, you won't be able to, your laptop will not be able to hear properly, and without a speaker, you won't be able to hear it. So you need both of those things to interact properly. It's something like uh, I dash I is opening a door inside the box, inside the container, and that dash T, it's going to give you a torch so that you can navigate properly and you can get a proper output. So yeah, I hope you understood this. And now let's try to do the same thing which we were doing on local. But now this thing is working. This is running on the Docker. You can see the container here. So I've created a lot of container, but this container which we are using right now, this is running. You can see the stop but option. Rest all the containers are empty. Even if you want, I can remove all of them. Now see, it's still working. So let's hit 1 and add a task. Exercise. Add another task. Maybe yoga. Now let's view the task. You can see the 2 tasks here. Let's try to mark one task as done. Now if we view, you can see the exercise is done. Now let's try to delete one task. Now if you view, you can see only yoga is there. So that way it's working now. It's not hosted on my local. You can see I am running the container and I'm interacting with that. And you can also see these things inside the container here. See what is happening. First I entered two. Uh, Yeah, to check if there is any task. Then we entered 1 to add a task exercise. Then we again entered 1 to add a yoga task. And then we again entered 2 to view the task. And then we change the status of one of the tasks. So you can see the task status is changed. And then we deleted this task. So you can see the task is deleted, only one task is here. You can see everything is working on my container. If I will remove this, if I stop this container, you will see it will throw an error now. I have stopped it from here. You can see it has stopped. Let's again start. Yeah, so let's try to give it a name. Python to do app and see. You can see it has created the new container, Python to do app. Now we can again do the same thing. So we can view the task and we can exit. So now we have created the containers. We have created container from the image and we try to run our application on this container. And with that, let's now remove the containers that are there. So for checking the all the containers that are there, we can use Docker ps-a. It will display all the running as well as a stopped container. Now let's remove all the containers, maybe at once. So what is the command? Docker rm, and then the container ID we can write 93 space 01 space 80. So it will remove all the three at once. Now let's again check. You can see there is no container. Now let's check the images that are there. You can see there is one image. Let's try to remove this as well. You can see the image is deleted now. Yeah. So hope you like this session and yeah, let me know if there is any feedback. Otherwise, in our next video, we will also see a lot of things in related to Docker, a little advanced version of this. So with that, thank you and thank you very much.